The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
First down. Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, Rob Phillips, and Kyle Yeomans.
It is a Talkin' Tuesday edition of Talkin' Cowboys, presented by Tostitos, helping fans get in on the game. The chip and dip of Talkin' Cowboys.
Come on now. We got to keep that. We got to keep that.
Yeah, Tostitos.
Yeah, the chip and dip of Talkin' Cowboys. That's what it is. And that's what it is today, as it is a Talkin' Tuesday. We are taking your phone calls for the second and third segments of this show. So give us a call, Cowboys Nation, 888-855-2297. We want to hear from you and hear about what you like, what you don't like, what you're concerned about, what you're excited about surrounding this Cowboys team. And we'll start doing that coming up here in the next couple of minutes. Alongside Heckma Harrison, Isaiah Stanback, Chris Beam in the back. Rob Phillips is on his way. I'm Kyle Yeomans. And gentlemen, how's it going this morning?
Good.
Fantabuloso.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about that? Your win against the Patriots is looking a lot better as the year goes along. Talk about a team that's 9-4 and playing really well, even in some harsh conditions in Buffalo.
Are they that good, or is the AFC not as good as we thought it was?
If you could throw the ball 3 times and still win the ball game in 55 miles per hour wins.
When you were watching the game last night, what were your thoughts on the game? I mean, just Physical.
I mean, exactly the same things that we were worried about when we played them.
I loved that game last night.
Yeah, it was
I
awesome.
loved it.
That's
and
an
it just shows
game.
It is. And the thing about, the way that football is changing, everybody's talking about, you got to throw a ball. You got to stretch the field. Belichick doesn't care about any of that. And I came to a thought last night. If I was a young coach in the league, I would be trying to find my way to New England.
Okay.
I would be trying to get the recipe.
You want some of that knowledge, huh?
I want some of it.
No, a piece of it.
But just think about this. It's not only is it Bill Belichick's defense, but it's also his offense. Now, you can change the position, you can change the coordinators, all of that, but you're not going to go out on the park and throw the ball 51 times if Bill Belichick is the head coach. Period. That's the same thing with Nick Saban in Alabama. That's the key to success.
That's why they're buddies.
Right? And they can bring in whichever offensive coordinator you want, but you're not going to throw the ball all over the place. In 3 passes yesterday, that was crazy.
Yeah, Mac Jones finished the game 2 of 3 passing for 19 yards, and they got a win. Now, Harris ran for 111. Stevenson, I think, had 24, 25 carries, something of the sort, and they were able to run all over that Bills defense. And maybe the Bills aren't exactly what the Bills have been the last couple of years. But even with that being said, I mean, the AFC's a mess. So is the NFC, though, is now the Cowboys 2 games up on the Washington football team. We're going to talk about Washington a little bit more in depth later in the week. But is there any concern right now around this Cowboys team and trying to hold on to that division lead? Because if you lose this week, 1 game, it's a 2-game turnaround. You could either be up by 3 by winning the game, or you could be up by only 1 if you lose the game. Is there any concern surrounding this one?
I think there's always concern whenever you have L's in the column. You don't want to leave this up to debate. I think the Dallas Cowboys had their opportunity to really clinch things, a couple weeks back, and they missed their opportunities. They went 1 for 4 or whatever it was during that stretch. So they find themselves in a situation where teams are getting hot, and they're trying to get back, hot again as well. So, these guys are going into a game where Washington's on, a 4-game win streak?
Yep.
4-game win streak, right? We're on a 1-game win streak. So, it's kind of you created a situation. You created a situation. So I wouldn't say worried, but go out there and handle your business, and you got some of your boys coming back to the crew, squad coming back. So you should be able to go out there, have a good time, and get back to your winning ways.
Did you just swag surf?
Absolutely.
You just kind of transported to the sideline and you're getting into it?
You get Gregory, you get Gallimore, you get Tristan, I don't know if Tristan will be back this week.
Not this week, next week.
Yeah, next week. And whoever you want to throw in the middle, what's it? Osa Odigizua, throw him in the mix, and then you got freaking D-Law, and then you put Micah behind them. You should be feeling really good against those guys that don't have a tight end, unfortunately, for them right now.
And Tristan's back this week, by the way.
Hey.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, his one game, his suspension.
Oh, that's right. It got reduced. You're right.
So he's back this week.
You're right. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, just want to make sure.
Thank you. I completely forgot.
So whole
that they
squad's
reduced
back.
it. So everybody's back.
Everybody's back.
How about that?
Everybody that can be back.
This is turning into, that's true. A lot of these guys are hopeful to be back. Neville Gallimore, Randy Gregory, not officially back, and the Cowboys will be back on the practice field tomorrow. So we'll get a better look at it as that rolls around. But speaking specifically of kind of going back to the draft, we talked about that yesterday and how the draft was one of those things with Micah Parsons. Is like, oh, now you look at this defense and you go, oh, there's DeMarcus Lawrence. Oh, there's Randy Gregory. Oh, my goodness, that's Neville Gallimore in the middle. Oh, and there's Micah Parsons, who's clamoring for being the Defensive Player of the Year as a rookie. That's a scary defense for any opposing offense to turn up and look at, and especially with a guy like Taylor Heineke, who still taking his lumps in the NFL. I feel like you're going to get pressure on him and make things tough for him all day Sunday.
Yeah, and Dan Quinn, pretty much pointed the spotlight on the fact that these guys hadn't even had but 28 snaps together as a group, meaning Gregory, Lawrence, and also Micah. And if you look at that in combination and you say to yourself, like, obviously, those are your main guys, your hunters. Putting them all on the field together, I think Taylor Heineke, if he's got sitting down studying film right now, he's trying to figure out how he's going to get rid of the ball. They're going to have to do some things defensively to create pressure. That's where I think and you look at those losses, we were not creating the same pressure that we had been creating before, and therefore, consequently, it cost us on the back end of our defense. We talk about what Anthony Brown struggles with as far as small, quick wide receivers. Well,
got a couple of them.
Yeah. DeAndre Carter, and I'm sure he's going to be locked up with him maybe in this for the majority of the time. But Terry McLaurin, I expect, for Diggs to be on him. But I just think that getting those guys that you just talked about up front, putting pressure on Taylor Heineke, I think that's going to make the difference in this game. And obviously, Dak not turning the ball over, not having any turnovers.
Would you rather have Heineke in the pocket or out the pocket?
I'd rather have him in the pocket.
Me too.
I think Taylor.
His ability to
that's
get
what
out.
I'm talking about. As we're talking about putting pressure on him, I'm like, maybe we just contain. Let's just contain him because he's dangerous when he gets out the box.
Like most things, you want to try and flush him out, make him uncomfortable. And this is what I'm saying. Yeah. When I say contain him in the pocket, get pressure on him, you want the collapse.
Yes.
Yeah, I want it to collapse.
You don't want gaps.
Yeah, if he's trying to escape out, I believe that the way that we saw Micah close on a bootleg, I don't think Heineke even attempts or tries anything like that. But out in space, I trust our guys, Micah and the other group, with the speed that we have on defense. I think that is the difference from last year to this year is the team speed.
Real quickly here, I agree with you completely because you look sideline to sideline, quarterbacks that have tried to scramble, and I'm not talking about designed runs. That's different. Scrambling out of the pocket have had almost zero success against the Cowboys this year. And I'll go dive deeper in the stats and bring you back some homework tomorrow. But, look at guys like Patrick Mahomes. As soon as he decides to tuck it and take off, Parsons is right on him. You can have the same thing with Gregory, Lawrence. Those are guys that can race you to the edge and for the most part win that battle to the edge, win that race to the sideline. And if that's the case, then maybe he's not as dangerous with his legs as a scrambler as opposed to what you've seen in the past.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that simply because of the fact what we talked about yesterday in terms of Dak and how he's not utilizing his abilities to be able to continue to move the chains. I think Heineke gets it. If there's one thing that he gets how to move the chains with his legs. And he's not trying to have these big plays out of field. He's not trying to get out the pocket and buy time so they can throw bombs like Mahomes or, Jalen Hurts, some of these other guys. These guys like to extend plays. He's not trying to extend the play. He's just trying to move the chains. And I think
he's moving the ball.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that he does well. He understands that. Like if things break down, he's going forward. He's going forward, he's sliding, and he's getting right back to the huddle, right? And that's what kind of...
No, I see that too.
Yeah.
I see that too. I think the other side, just adding to that, the other thing that I see is his offensive line is weak. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that running is, I'm running because...
I have to.
And I don't trust that my head might not get taken off if, I don't anticipate this guy holding his blindside block long enough. I just, either way, I think they're going to... The Washington football team is going to be an opponent because of how hot they are. are, we're going to have to get on them early. We cannot allow them to get any momentum. Yeah, we got to get on them early, and we can't allow them to build any momentum. They try and do some really interesting things, and that's why, you talked about yesterday, Logan Thomas and his ACL being out. He would have been a big factor in this game for us to have to concentrate on. But also, Antonio Gibson out of the backfield is going to be something that's important for us also. And McKissick. And I don't know if he's out. They have out for this game. He
was out last game. There's a chance he returns for this one.
McKissick is different. When I watch the Tampa film on them, McKissick him and Gibson are, the tandem backs, very different from one another. The thing about McKissick that worries me is him in space with the ball when they get him on screens and stuff like that. So that's something that I think we have to worry about. But if we can stop them, discourage them from doing any of those things, I think we make this game easy for ourselves because Heineke will make a mistake.
Is this the most threatening tandem that we faced this year out there backfield?
I do not think so. Especially the way that Gibson has played. Gibson hasn't necessarily put up the numbers to scare me. Now, the film and the matchup-wise, it might scare me a little bit, but not enough to where it could compare to what we've seen previously.
Who would you put over them?
Oh, I would put the Broncos tandem in front of them. Easy. Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon, those guys tore you up. And they've torn up the majority of the league. They're one of 3 teams right now with at least 2 500-plus rushing backs. The Cowboys are the other ones. The Packers are the other ones. So I would definitely put the Broncos in front of that by like a lot.
And I underestimated Williams, man.
Yes, he's a good player.
He came out, and he's a lot more physical than these guys, I believe. Gibson, I don't see them as being those physical inside runners. I don't take that from them. But I think that what they do individually, different from one another, is very unique. So this is a 1 and 2. This is a 1A and 1B situation with these running backs. So, I agree, but I do agree with Kyle as well. I think Denver's running back tandem was a lot tougher.
I think their scheme was better. I give these guys the edge personnel-wise in the backfield. I give Denver the edge scheme-wise. Those guys are good within that scheme. These guys are good individually. I guess if that makes sense. Not to say those guys aren't.
No. I can follow you.
I would prefer to have these two.
But what do you think about Antonio Gibson's game so much that really gives you pause that you pay so much attention?
I think he's versatile. I think he's very versatile. I think he can. He's a guy that you can trust inside and out. I don't think he's going to necessarily kill you, but he's consistent. I feel like he's consistent if you let him get things going, and then you throw McKissick in there, and he's just put somebody on him, please.
Yeah.
Because you don't want him to go out there and come out in the motion out the backfield, go out into the slot, or go out into the outside. He catch a little hitch route and he turns it into something. Right. That's their version of getting run plays as well.
Yeah.
Much like we did last week with CD. So I just think that they're a good two-headed monster. I respect them.
Yeah, I think that's something that the Cowboys are going to have to look at moving forward is how are they going to slow down tandems like that? Because I just mentioned the Packers. They're going to bring it if you see them in the playoffs. You can see it
get healthy,
different places as well. Yeah, especially when they get healthy. That offensive line's playing a lot better.
Those guys pound you, though. Those guys, they just beat you down. Jones, he'll gas on you from time to time, but then they bring in the horse at the backfield, and he just comes downhill. Is it 260 pounds or something stupid like that?
Yeah. Now, there was some breaking news this morning around the Washington football team. Logan Thomas, the tight end, underwent an MRI, and it did not show that he had torn any of his MCL. Yeah, so
that's blessings.
Fantastic news for Washington. He's most likely going to be out against the Cowboys regardless, but that is huge news for the Washington football team to try and get him back because he's a huge part of that offense. Now, we talked about some of those defensive reinforcements and having guys like Neville Gallimore and Randy Gregory back in the fold, and it's fantastic, and you're excited about it. I want to ask about some of these young defensive backs that haven't seen a ton of time. How about Kelvin Joseph? That's the number one name on my list, and I was asked this question on the Fan last night by our guys Zach and Eric in the nighttime slot, and they asked me, they're like, why haven't we seen Kelvin Joseph outside of the suspension and the injuries?
Special teams.
And exactly, though. Why is he not in a rotation with a guy like Anthony Brown? Is it time that we see him in the rotation?
I think if he would have won this game in 2 days, maybe this would have happened by now. I just think there's some layered things that's happening Monday through Saturday that's not allowing the coaching staff to be confident in his abilities. I feel as though this veteran group that we have of coaches is not going to, in spite of where you were picked in the draft, going to allow you to get out on the field and make any mistakes. We go back to Izzy Mukuamu and Nashawn Wright, guys that we saw legitimately making strides. Not so much Kelvin Joseph, though. It's not that I'm not confident in his abilities, because I believe that once he gets his shot, he's going to be there for it. I just think right now, him working his way into rotation via special teams, that's going to be his way. And I think earlier in the season, you heard Coach Dan Quinn talk a lot about that, him working his way into the rotation by being on special teams. But I don't think his time is now. I think Anthony Brown is, with all of his shortcomings and being picked on by the refs, I don't care what nobody says, he's being picked on, spotlighted by the refs. I just think that right now he's a step up over Kelvin Joseph.
He's played 14 snaps all year, Joseph has. 14. And now 5 of those have been in run defense and 9 of those have been in coverage. So outside of special teams anyways, he's played 14 snaps. That's not what you want to see from a second-round player. And that's the thing that you also got to think about is there's a lot of pressure on him to develop, because if you're picked as a second-round player, you're expected to be a starter by the end of year 1. Yeah. You're expected to be at least in that conversation, and I'm right there with you. I don't see that yet. You don't have that. You don't have that conversation with Kelvin Joseph. There are a lot of people, whenever Anthony Brown does have his shortcomings, that'll say, "Oh, let's just bring in Kelvin Joseph." But I don't think that's a legitimate conversation at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not questioning Al Harris. It's
a good point.
I'm not questioning that dude. Remember watching him play. I think I even played against him. But he's a dog, and I don't know if it has anything to do with the lack thereof ability, if his preparation is not on point, if his physicality is not there. There's a whole lot of question marks
Injuries.
That we put there.
I had a question that just came in my head right now. Like, when you came into the league, there were obvious things that you were doing in the Pac-12 that you could get away with, that when you came into the league, you couldn't get away with that no more. Do you think that he's probably suffering the same things that he's doing innately on the practice field that's like, oh, no, dog, that'll get you burnt?
Man, possibly. Yeah. I mean, we can throw out there all the what ifs, without us actually having seen him in practice and understanding what their decisions are.
But there's something.
There's something, obviously. I mean, like I said, this is a very veteran, squad in terms of coaching, and they know who's ready and who's not ready. And obviously, we know that special teams is the way into playing. Regardless if you're second round pick or beneath. If you're a first round pick, you're playing. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Second round pick, you should be in the rotation. But, you got to remember, there's 2 other guys ahead of you that are getting paid $5 million a year, too, that have a lot of reps underneath their belt. So that's the reality.
I was shocked. I'm really shocked sometimes by Nashawn Wright and his inability to get
That's what
ready.
I'm more concerned about.
And why is that?
I don't know. I know Kelvin was a higher draft pick, but I think that Nashawn and his physical attributes work really well within this system.
Just fit.
He just fits. I mean, I try not to look at the whole draft pick. I know there's value there. That politics are politics, finances are finances. But Nashawn, he has the ability to be something great. And I think the same thing with Israel Mukuamu. I think he has the the physical attributes. But we talked about the physicality part in preseason. Put him on an island out there, and luckily he's still around to be able to show that he can make some things happen. I don't know how many snaps he's had on special teams,
not a lot.
But that's somebody that I'm excited about too, just because of their size and what they can do. Kelvin, I don't have a lot of information on him. I see him on special teams. I see him on punt return and trying to stop some guys. And there's obviously I'm a big critic on special teams, but I haven't seen him be dominant in that regard. So it's like, how do you expect somebody who's not being dominant in special teams to come out there and be dominant as a defender?
And I think, to be fair, Kelvin Joseph, availability-wise, has not been there as much as those other guys because of the injury early in the year and then, of course, now with the suspension that he had to serve against New Orleans. So I think, going back to your point with Mukuamu, he's a day 3 pick. And the fact that he's even on the active roster more often than not, is impressive to me, the fact that he's even there. Then you talk about Kelvin Joseph. He's a second-round pick. He should be in the mix. But then you mention the guy in the middle, and that's Nashawn Wright. You have to also think about the fact of Nashawn Wright being a third-round pick that they stretched on. They stretched to go and get him, so maybe they're taking their time. They're taking their time.
Don't do this again.
They're taking their time.
You saw how he did that.
What do you think I'm saying here? No. Listen, let me finish. Let me finish. They are taking their time to develop him because they know they can't get that one wrong. I'm not saying they're wrong on it.
I don't agree.
Which I still think they are, but I don't know.
So what are they doing with Kelvin?
Kelvin's got to be a pick as well. I mean, he's got to play. That's what I'm saying. I think they need to play him.
So wait a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it.
So the thing is that I understand where draft order comes into this and the consideration because of where you were drafted.
Investment.
You want to see guys take the reins and be
that guy.
Yes. Nahshon Wright showed you in training camp his physicality and his ability to stay and track and do those things.
Yeah.
There are things legit that within Dan Quinn's scheme that you can see that an aggressive player like Nahshon Wright should make strides in this. And this is a good problem to have, by the way.
It is. It's a great problem.
All of these young guys maybe next year are going to be spearheading your DB room, okay?
Possibly.
So development and teaching, and you just talked about the coaches that's a dog that's coached these guys. I think that development and their ability to learn on the job may be something that we're underestimating because of what Anthony Brown and Jay Lou are doing right now. Mm-hmm. It may not just be, it's a reach, it's a stretch to give him that time right now. He has an opportunity to sit back and learn. And Dan Quinn even pointed out the fact that they've already used 33 players on this defense already. Yeah. So we're not done. We're not done. So these guys may have an opportunity to make an impact by the end of the year, but I think you're wrong about Nahshon Wright.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the same thing you are.
Okay.
There's a reason that they're taking their time for Nahshon Wright. That's all I'm saying. He showed in the training camp and the physicality and yada yada yada. Fine, he was great in training camp, but that hasn't turned into snaps. That has not turned into snaps yet.
So just to clarify all this, they're taking their time with Nahshon.
Yes,
but
why would they take their time with Kelvin Joseph is my question.
Okay.
Yes.
So they're taking their time with Nahshon, but they're not taking their time with Kelvin. Kelvin just hasn't earned his way onto the field.
Correct. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't illustrate that as well. Hey, Rob Phillips, how's it going?
Sorry I'm late.
No, you're good.
Man.
What discussions about young guys playing early?
They got the cheers in the back.
Yeah, mostly questioning Kelvin Joseph and then guys like Nahshon Wright and then, of course, Israel Mukuamu on the back end as well. But mostly Kelvin Joseph. Why is he not seeing his playing time outside of the injury issues and, of course, the suspension?
Suspension?
Well, he had the fight against the Raiders.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, not the suspension, but just in the doghouse. Yeah, the ejection.
Well, he hurt until the last, month of the season? And I think it comes down to performance. Like, you guys just said it when I walked in. Like, this coaching staff is not afraid to play whoever's the best player. Like, Jason Garrett talked about meritocracy when he was here, and I think he tried to stick to that, but I think you're really seeing it here. Like, Terrence Steele has been the starting right tackle based off performance even when Lyle Collins comes back. Mm-hmm. So I think they're just going off of who's playing better. Anthony Brown had a better camp than Kelvin Joseph did. That's why he's playing. And then Kelvin Joseph missed a lot of time. I think it's young players, like you said, just trying to bring guys along. But I don't know if there's going to be a set time when any of the young guys play. It's going to be when they're better than the guys in front of them.
And I guess to this point, you haven't seen that yet.
So since we're talking about defense, let's flip it on the other side. When Cooper and Gallup was out, why did we not see more Simi Fehoko?
Same thing.
I mean, come on. You asked
Malik
us a rhetorical
Turner.
question. Thank you so much. You know what it is. He hadn't been doing it. I really. Well, it's a cheap jab. It's a cheap jab, Simi. It's
a question.
No, it is a legitimate question.
No, it is.
Guess who got the playing time?
That's
17.
The Simi discussion goes back to OTAs.
Yeah, it does. It was better to
It's a
draft.
valid question.
Meritocracy. Malik Turner had a better training camp.
Yes, he did.
At the wide receiver position.
And now he's got a couple touchdowns to his name.
And John Fossil said yesterday he might be our most versatile special teams player. So that helps him get on the field on game day.
Who said that in the preseason? What show on DallasCowboys.com talked about that?
Craziest thing.
Did you say that?
That's wild.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right, we're going to take a break before Isaiah's head gets too big for himself and we can't fit in this room anymore. All right, when we come back, we are taking your calls, Cowboys Nation, 888-855-2297. We'll take them when we come back here on Talkin Cowboys.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes. which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Verilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar, and a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere, and a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching Grandma how to video call. And teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with...
And I'm Jay Novacek. And we're both with...
United Ag and Turf, the official tractor provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
So, if you need a tractor to bale some hay, a mower to cut some grass, or a gator to get some chores done...
Get a John Deere at United Ag and Turf.
And then, let's get to work.
Hey, Jay, that's my line.
Well, not today.
Get to work with a John Deere tractor package that's just right for you and your budget. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
It's a great people, great pay replay here on Talkin Cowboys. You've heard it already. Jason Witten has gone out there and he has joined the Caliber Collision team. You can join him to do great work with great people for great pay and apply right now at jobs@caliber.com. That's jobs@caliber.com.
That's the King James Version.
It's the New Testament. Heck is like legit pissed at me for having this wallet.
He's actually upset.
Like, what the hell is wrong with him?
I know to get you for Christmas.
The white. I was just about to say that. There's no white elephant. It's just you tell you what you're getting, bro. It's right now. There's no way.
Oh man, glad you're with us here on Talkin Cowboys here on a wonderful Tuesday. Hope you're having a great day. We've got Isaiah Stanback, Rob Phillips in the building, Heckma Harrison, and now we've got TC from Indiana on the line. TC, how's it going? You're on Talkin Cowboys.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's going well. How you guys doing?
Doing great as always. What's on your mind, my friend?
Well, I've been listening today, and I know you guys have been more focused on like each individual player, but I'm looking like big picture team-wise. Now, with Tampa dropping their games like they did, it seemed like, and we were going through our rough patch also, it seemed like that was our chance to sort of jump over Tampa and get the 3 seed and avoid playing the Rams. Now the Rams are on a 3-game skid. So right now, are you guys feeling less threatened if we stay the 4 seed and they stay the 5 seed, if we have that home game hosting the LA Rams in the first round of the playoffs, assuming we get the division, of course?
Well, fantastic question, TC, as always. Thanks for calling in. I mean, I'll let you guys start with this. I've got a pretty strong opinion about it, but go for it, Rob.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't really even thought about that because I watched Washington win Sunday, and Washington, if they win out, that's a tall task, but they're the division champs.
Yep.
So, like, I don't think you can look past that. I think this is going to be a really tough game on Sunday.
Yeah, me too.
I'm right there with you. What do you think?
I'm right there with you as well. But in terms of the playoffs, and when you start talking about Tampa, LA, Arizona, Green Bay, it doesn't matter. They're all going to be. If you're lucky enough to get to the playoffs, every game that you have, starting with game 1, is going to be it's going to be Super Bowl caliber type competition. So this year's playoffs on NFC and the AFC is going to be absolutely insane because there's a lot of really good teams.
Yeah, I guess my mentality is I don't want to avoid anybody. I want to see the LA Rams. I want to see them. I think that we match up with them and we can give them the business. I don't think that if we see Tampa again, that we're trying to avoid them. The only team that I think right now that there would be a problem for us would be going to Green Bay. And that's just only because of the elements. You saw last night, those are things, and that's why I love football so much. You could talk about individual matchups, but several people with the whole Pats-Bills thing never brought up the elements, the wind, the cold, the snow, all of those things. And that's how football is played, especially when you're in an outdoor stadium. So I think about that with those matchups. But everybody else, bring them on. I can't wait to see them.
Yeah, LA wouldn't bother you. Tampa wouldn't bother you with their defensive front. I mean, we've seen Tampa already. But the way the line has been the last few weeks and juggling things, like that doesn't
I think at a point in the season that, especially the 3-game stretch in 12 days, you had to juggle some things with Tyron Smith getting back healthy. They didn't know what they were going to do with Leal and Steele. You were trying to play Leal back into shape. I think he's there already. Running game-wise, those things give me pause. But, hey, if we're throwing the ball 50 times a game, I don't even think that there's concentration on the running game. We're just running to set up what we're going to do in the passing game. I think we're getting back to who we are fundamentally, running the ball, having some success over these next 5 games. That's going to make the difference. We've beaten teams that everybody else is crazy about, but they never give us credit for that.
Can you beat those 2 teams without being able to run the ball efficiently?
No.
Which 2 teams?
Tampa and LA.
Just depends on what they do. If they abandon their run and they throw the ball also, if they match you, then you're in a shootout. I think if they play field position and ball control and you're just throwing the ball, then I think you put yourself behind the 8 ball.
Like what we saw in week 1.
Boom.
Yeah.
Now,
Tampa didn't try to run it either.
No. So that's what I'm saying. You end up in a shootout.
Yeah, and you could have very easily have won that game even without running the ball efficiently. Now, with going back to TC's question about the Rams specifically and their losing streak, I look at the Rams the same way I look at the Cowboys offense. Cowboys offense has not played up to standard the last 4 weeks. I mean, that is not a secret. I still think they will figure it out. I think at some point it's going to click, and I think at some point they're going to go back to the number 1 offense in the NFL, or at least a top 5 offense in the NFL like we've seen throughout the early parts of the season. I see the same thing happening for the Rams. I think it's only a matter of time till they figure it out. Same thing we said about the Chiefs early in the year. It was only a matter of time until Kansas City clicked. Now they've won 5 straight.
Thank you
and
for
they've
saying
been
that.
Kicking everybody's butt.
Thank you for saying that.
I think the Cowboys are going to get back to that. I think the Rams will get back to that. It's all about who's playing well going into the tournament.
All these guys are going to get back to that.
Everybody's going to be playing well
Exactly.
when the playoffs come around. So you're not going to have a week off. No matter who you play, no matter what seed you go, there is no week off.
What is it, Pete? Go on, say it. It's not going on.
And you got to get rid of your division first. You got to take care of business. This is a huge game to take care of that business.
No doubt.
You have to win this game, in my opinion, because if you lose it, it's your lead's gone. For 4 games left, your lead is pretty much evaporated. Sure, you've got a 1-game lead, but that's not enough with 4 to play. All right, let's go out to Italy. M in Italy is on the line with us here on Talkin Cowboys. What's going on? What's on your mind?
Hi there. Hi, Kyle. Hi, team. Thank you for having me. And Rob, you may remember these. I called a couple of years ago, and we spoke. It was nice. Thank you for having me again.
Of course.
Yeah, I wrote you on LinkedIn, Rob. You should reply. You should check your mail on LinkedIn.
I'm bad with LinkedIn. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
That's okay. Now, let me go to the questions. I just have 2 questions for you. The first one is about Micah Parsons. He's being, there are a lot of people that say that he reminds of Lawrence Taylor and other players. As far as I'm concerned, when he lines up at the end position, he reminds me of Derek Thomas.
Thank you.
I don't know whether,
Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you,
sir.
sir.
LT yesterday.
I had no. I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
No. It's okay. And so, as far as I'm concerned, he reminds me of Derek Thomas. Who obviously had a tragic end. But size-wise, speed-wise, his movements, he reminds me a lot of Derek Thomas. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts about this. And the second question is about Dak Prescott. In the last 2 years, so since Coach McCarthy came in, I've noticed one thing. He doesn't get flagged for delay of game like it happened before. And I wonder, he lines up earlier. And this gives him more time to diagnose the defense. I don't know whether it's something that you noticed as well. It's something changed with Coach McCarthy, but I remember Dak lining up, clapping his hands in a frantic way when Coach Garrett was with the Cowboys, and now it doesn't happen anymore. And I think this is part of also of the success he's having with his numbers.
Well, thank you very much for the call, Em, and we appreciate you as always. And calling from Italy, as always, a lot of fun. Okay, now I got a bone to pick with you, Heckma. Have you ever on air talked about Derek Thomas being a comparison?
You know, I appreciate you and your bone to pick with me
because you can't celebrate if you haven't said it on air.
You know, stop for a second. Calm down, okay?
I know.
Just chill out. All right. So I was having a conversation with Nicholas Eatman, right? All right. And in my conversation, if you know Nick, you could catch him on certain days where he's kind of So I called him on a day, right? So we're having a conversation. I'm forcing this conversation on him, and I said to him, man, this guy reminds me of Derek Thomas. Everything about him. So
we gotta get Nick on the show to verify.
Right, and it's all good. It's all good. I'm just telling you that was what my initial,
that's huge.
So
That's
so fact check that, however you like, But I caught him on the back, and he didn't want to hear it. He didn't want to hear it because I'm obviously saying that this rookie reminds me of Derek Thomas, and here a guy out in Italy saw what I saw, and I like it.
How about that? Congratulations.
Let's go back to your bone. Let's go back to your bone.
No, I just wanted you to explain. That's all it was.
Cool.
What did you think about his second question about Dak Prescott and the way
Calm down, Fido.
The way that he's able to get up to the line of scrimmage and really diagnose a defense a little better under Mike McCarthy as opposed to Jason Garrett?
I was looking at Isaiah because I wasn't really sure. I mean, they're playing with more tempo this year, I think, overall than maybe they have in the past.
I could see that. I think that might just come with being a veteran in the NFL more than anything, right?
Yeah.
Just knowing what to do. It may not be the more so toward the coaches. I think it's more so just Dak Prescott knowing what to do.
I agreed, and I mean that showed up not for us this year, but I was watching the Detroit game, and Jared Goff just couldn't figure out time management. So, I mean, I think you'll see just a perfect example of two ends of the spectrum in terms of somebody who's fully confident in what they're doing in their offense and versus somebody who just doesn't have it figured out yet.
Yeah, no doubt. And the Cowboys are going to have to figure it out on their own right. On the offensive side of the football. Let's take our next break. When we come back, we still have the phone lines open. 888-855-2297. You can give us a call, 888-855-2297 when we return here on Talkin Cowboys.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching Grandma how to video call and teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Whether you're watching from home or you're cheering in the stands with Essilor lenses, you can see every exciting play.
Shades.
Book an appointment at your local Essilor experts and see what Essilor can do for you. See more, do more, Essilor on Talkin Cowboys. Isaiah Standback in the shades. Now he's the uncle from the barbecue. How's it going?
What?
That was that Lil Jon? What was that? Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know how we can keep that going. Thank you to our friends over at Essilor for allowing us to be idiots here on this show.
And we're out of time.
Yep. All right.
Heck's done.
Yep. Heck might have just checked out.
That was David Chappelle.
Look how disappointed Heck is in the corner right now.
No, it's not.
The visual came in.
No, man.
The visual came in.
Okay. Oh, no. All right, we've got Bobby from Florida. Please help us keep the wheels on this bus. Bobby, what's on your mind?
Swag surf this morning. Now you my Lil Jon.
I was for the argument that I think Micah is more like
Derek Thomas.
Lawrence Taylor, because I'm originally from North Carolina, and I saw Lawrence Taylor play in college.
Ooh.
And one time I saw him break somebody's quarterback's face mask.
Man.
Broke the face mask in half when he sacked him.
Damn. Goodness gracious. So who are you saying Lawrence Taylor compares to? Are you saying that he compares to Micah, or he's by himself?
He compares to Lawrence Taylor.
Oh.
I saw Lawrence Taylor when he played in college.
Gotcha.
I'm a Tar Heel fan, too.
There you go. Well, thank you for the call, Bobby, as always, and thanks for listening here to Talkin Cowboys. And I mean, there you go. Now you've got a direct comparison from somebody who's seen Lawrence Taylor up front and personal. I wish I would have had an opportunity to do that, because that guy was just a dog.
Me too, because Bill Belichick talks about him like he was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
No, he really was.
He
really was. He was a difference maker, and Micah is much bigger than LT was. So, just speed, quickness, agility, just ability to get around the corner. And I even said at the beginning of the year that, Micah just hadn't developed all of his stuff yet. And he ain't going to do nothing but get better once he starts to just train on that, just moves. He only has one speed right now, go and strength.
I was about to say, go.
He didn't have, I think he's incorporated a spin move. We've seen that a few times, spinning back inside. But the things that he does innately on the field that he can get away with athletically, once he applies some more, teaching to that, man, I think he's going to be a monster. But the whole, comparison with Lawrence Taylor, man, that's just next level, next world.
He reminds me of Von Miller. I've said that before. Just that first step off the edge. But like you've talked about it, like he's only going to get stronger. He's going to add weight. That should help him if he ever does transition full time to this role. We'll see. They seem to, again, it's kind of off the ball and do both. And George Edwards, who's up for the Duke job, by the way, potentially, so George. Said he reminds him of Junior Seau.
Wow.
And LeVar Arrington for a guy that can do both.
LeVar was huge.
My Lord.
Yeah, different body type.
Yes.
But, yeah.
So was Junior.
Yeah,
Junior was huge.
And LeVar was a mentor to Micah.
And of course, we're comparing what he looks like and what he makes us remember of. We're not comparing the careers just yet. But man, if the scariest thing about Micah Parsons is the fact that he still has not had an NFL offseason. And he's going to have a full offseason.
And also just how he getting these guys back healthy and our front line going with Micah, with the momentum that he has already. This defense can't do anything but get better. We've talked so much about the offense carrying this team throughout the season. Now we've gotten to a point in the season where we're seeing the defense do some of the carrying as well.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, in this Washington game, you see these guys double down on that defensively. They can get some stops. This is the part in the season where you want to see your defense take those strides. I think with the health, getting guys back, we're going to start to see that.
All right, let's go to our final call of the day. Mike from Newton, Iowa is on the phone. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how's it going, people? I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. I go way back. I'm old school. So my question is, don't you think that the offensive line need to be beef up a little bit? I mean, put more weight on. I mean, they're only 311. Back in the days when Jimmy Johnson was around, he had his line 340 or 330. And my other question is, why isn't Dak running the ball more often when the option run or throw the ball out of bounds? I mean, is he afraid of getting hurt again? I'll hang up and listen. Now tell me what you think, okay? Goodbye.
Thank you so much, Mike, for the call. 2 great questions. And, I mean, you want to start with the offensive line one?
I mean, I think we have a pretty big offensive line. I think if they need to beef up, I mean, come on, where are we?
It's more of Tyron and Lyle that are big, and then it's the interior that's not.
I guess I'm having a problem because, every time they do the post-game thing and then the coaches walk to the middle, Tyron Smith is the person that I see the most. Man. And I say to myself, okay, how genetically does a person get to be like that? So when I think about our offensive line, the only thing that points out of my head is Tyron Smith, and I don't know where you go with that.
They have bigger offensive linemen, but they're all either rookies or just not good enough to play. I mean, they have guys that are big dudes, but, I mean, Connor Williams and Connor McGovern have been your left guards, and Tyler Biadasz is your center. I mean, that's just kind of what you've got. Now, we addressed a lot of the quarterback and Dak Prescott running the football yesterday, but Isaiah, do you have anything else to add on his specific question?
Nope. Like I said, I made the comparison to I hope Dak watches a little Heineke film this week, just because I think he does a good job in that area. And I think if Dak added that element to his game, I think it would help this offense tremendously.
By the way, Dak Prescott, breaking news while we were on the show, he is now the Cowboys. He has been named the Cowboys nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. So how about that for Dak Prescott?
Well deserved.
That's phenomenal.
Very well deserved. Is this his first nomination?
I believe so. I want to say the last couple have been Travis Frederick when he was here, and then Jalen Smith was nominated last year. So all 32 teams have a nominee. We'll find out the Thursday before the Super Bowl.
Dope.
So you think about everything that Dak's involved in.
And they wear something on. They wear a patch on their jerseys, right?
If they win it.
The winners do. I want to say the nominees might have a decal on their helmet the rest of the season.
That's a decal on their helmet. I knew it was something that represented that they were a nominee.
And if you're a winner, you wear that the rest of your career. Like, you can wear that patch on your chest for the rest of your career. That's Jason Witten did it for a long time. Breeze did it for a long time. Not everybody does it, but they have that opportunity. Yeah, J.J. Watt as well. So
doing things for
I think Walter Payton, was watching him play and knowing the kind of man that he was as a player that he was, but just the things that he did off of the field. It's amazing how, the name of something can change over the years and people forget who the actual man was. It's awesome, man, every year to see the Walter Payton legacy be talked about in this way.
Very cool. And you just think about everything Dak's involved in. I mean, when he first got here, it started with cancer research and awareness.
Yes.
It's expanded to social justice, mental health awareness. Like, he's involved in so many different things that affected him personally. It's really cool.
Yeah, he's been through a lot throughout his time and throughout his career, and he's doing a lot to give back at the same time. I will always have the utmost respect for Dak Prescott. I mean, that is a man that is hard to not like. I mean, of course, Cowboys fans are going to have their Cowboys haters right beside him. Always. But it's hard to look at Dak Prescott and say that's not a solid individual, because he is as good as they come, and he is one of the guys that you're happy is on your team. All right, that does it for us here on Talkin Cowboys. Glad you've been with us. As always, presented by Tostitos. It is over. But guess what, Heckma? We get to come back tomorrow. What? 9 a.m. Central Time. What? And we get to talk about the Washington offense versus this Cowboys defense. What does Washington do well, and how will the football team challenge the Cowboys? For Chris Beam, Rob Phillips, Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, I'm Kyle Yeoman saying so long from the Star in Frisco. We'll see you tomorrow on Talkin Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!